Hi, howdy, what's going on, guys? It's your boy. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing another episode of Meal Prep Monday! And before anybody is like, hey Blake, you're wearing the same outfit that you wore for the last Meal Prep Monday, I have a spoiler alert. I'm actually making them both on the same day because I don't feel like cooking that much this month. So I'm going to make everything in one day and it's going to be super fun and great. So today, the first step is going to be making some rice because we're going to be making some smoky sweet chipotle salmon and rice bowl. So starting off, we're going to want to go ahead and get a couple cups of water on the stove. Go ahead and get those to a boil, and then 1 cup of rice. And while we're waiting for the water to boil for that rice, we're going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 400 for these salmon. No. What's the plural of salmon? Okay, now our water is starting to come to a boil, so before we actually throw in our rice, I'm going to go ahead and add in some salt just like you would if it was pasta, and then I'm also going to go ahead and throw in about a tablespoon of butter per how much ever cups of water you're doing. So if you're doing 2 cups of water because you're making 1 cup of rice, you'd only do 1 tablespoon, or if you're doing 4 cups of water because you're doing 2 cups of rice, you're going to want to go ahead and put in 2 tablespoons of butter. It's not necessarily the most important thing ever. I think it's just something small you can do to make your rice just a little bit more flavorful. Okay, now that that's boiling, you're going to want to go ahead and put in your rice, and then you're going to want to go ahead and turn the heat down on this. So right now it's at high on a boil. Okay, so right now it's on high on a boil, and you're going to want to go ahead and make sure that after you put your rice in there, you stir it around for a little bit, kind of make sure everything's mixed in, nothing stuck to the bottom, and then you immediately want to put that heat down to the lowest temperature you can put it on and cover your rice, and then this should cook in about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, somewhere in that general range. Okay, we're going to be turning this rice into more of a fried rice, so I'm also going to go ahead and take a bag of frozen peas and carrots and go ahead and microwave it for the majority of the time it says. So for me, I believe my microwave, it says 4 to 5 minutes. I'm just going to cook it for about 3.5 to 4 minutes because it's going to cook in with the rice whenever we turn it into fried rice in a little bit. Okay, make sure not to neglect your rice. You do want to go ahead and every once in a while kind of stir it up, make sure everything is fine and everything is cooking up nicely in here. Want to make sure things aren't getting stuck to the bottom. So just, every 5 minutes or so, mix it up. Like I said, this is going to take about 20 minutes or so to cook anyways, but you do not want to accidentally risk not mixing it up and then the majority of it getting stuck to the bottom, because then the rice won't absorb the water right, and then you'll end up getting like some rice is not cooked enough, some rice is overcooked, all kinds of issues there. So just every once in a while, just check in on it. Okay, now for our salmon, we got these nice, really easy, ready to go little salmon pieces here. They are skinless. I know some people, they really like the skin on their salmon. I personally am not a fan, so I got these. If you want to get some cheaper ones, you can get the ones that still have the skin on it, and the skin itself is edible. You just need to kind of cook it a special way, and I didn't feel like doing that. So we're going to take these out. Oh, they're all individually wrapped. Hold up. Okay, now our rice is about ready to cook up. It's about ready to be turned into fried rice. So we're going to go ahead and pull this off this pot, put it into a separate bowl, and then we're going to make the fried rice in this bowl right here. Okay, we're going to be making the salmon a special little honey chipotle salmon. So you're going to want to go ahead and see if you can find chipotle powder out there. It is really good, but I will admit I've had a lot of issues trying to find it in the past. Luckily for me, I was able to find it at Walmart. In the past, I've had to go to like fancy, different ethnic grocery stores. So obviously you just want to find the seasoning. Like I said, I was able to find it at Walmart, so hopefully it's more of a mainstream thing now. You want to go ahead and kind of start brushing it on top of literally everything. It's going to be really spicy. It's going to be really powerful, so you don't want to necessarily do too much. But that being said, you're going to also be adding honey to it, so it is okay if it's a lot. We're going to start off with that seasoning. We're also going to add, obviously, some classics. We're going to do a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, salt, and pepper as well. And we're going to flip it, and we're going to season both sides. Okay, so we got our salmon nice and ready to go, and now the last thing we need to do before we throw this bad boy in the oven is obviously drizzle on some honey, because we're going to be doing sweet chipotle salmon. It's got to have a little bit of honey drizzled on top. So we're just going to do a little bit on each one, something very simple like this. Once it cooks, it'll kind of like absorb into the meat and really create this nice juicy flavor to it. So we got that. We got our oven preheated to 400. Now we're just going to throw it in there for probably about 7 to 10 minutes, and I will see you then. Okay, and I went ahead and took it out after about 8 minutes. It doesn't look fully cooked. Like, there's still a really big amount of pink on there, but that is because I personally really like sushi, so I don't need it to be cooked to the max. I think that this will be really good. And then because I wanted to get 4 servings out of it, I originally had cut these into a couple separate pieces, and I was going to divvy them up a little bit differently. I forgot, when you cook salmon, it kind of like shreds a little bit. Like, I would very easily be able to shred this up. So I think I'm going to shred this up and then throw them into bowls like that. Okay, now the first step for making fried rice is actually going to be to make some fried eggs. So I got 4 eggs here. I'm going to go ahead and coat the bottom of this pan with some oil and then a little bit of teriyaki sauce. You're supposed to do it with soy sauce, but my dumbass accidentally used my soy sauce for something else. So teriyaki sauce will do. So we're just going to go ahead and put a little bit of this down on the bottom of the pan. Just sweet and simple, sweet and simple, sweet and simple. Just enough to literally coat the bottom of the pan. So it's going to be a very thin little layer there. Hold up. Fill up all the way. There we go, baby. And now, like I said, just a little bit of oil as well. And we got 4 eggs that we're going to be cooking up because I got a shit ton of rice here. If you're doing 2 cups of rice, you're probably going to want to do 3 eggs. If you're doing 1 cup of rice, you probably want to do 2 eggs. This is just a nice way to kind of add a little bit of extra protein to a meal that already has a solid protein source. Okay, and here's a little bit of a voiceover situation for this. So like I said, I'm just cracking 4 eggs in there, and I'm scrambling them up immediately. This is kind of going to be like scrambled eggs, but with the teriyaki sauce. And it's super simple, super easy. Okay, and it's going to end up making this like concoction that kind of looks like scrambled eggs, but kind of questionable. You want it to look like that, and then you're going to want to go ahead and throw in your mixed veggies. I got peas and carrots. And then you just want to go ahead and throw in on top of that all of your rice, and then mix everything together, add in some extra soy sauce, and it's going to be super yummy and delicious. And I 10 out of 10 would recommend this. Anytime you're making rice, this is a good kind of mixture to add to make it just a little bit better. Bam, bam. Like I said, throwing more soy sauce on top of that, make sure it gets a nice little extra flavor flav. Mix everything in together, and this is going to be yummy and delicious rice. I will say something you could do to make your fried rice better is making the rice a day before you fry it. That being said, I don't really have time to do that. I haven't been having consistent back-to-back days off, so for me, this is my 1 day off, and then I work another like 8-day stretch. I didn't have time to waste on making this meal prep, so I just wanted to go ahead and kind of make as much fried rice as possible. And so it's just going to be like this, a nice, yummy, delicious fried rice concoction. And yeah, everything's going to cook together nicely. It's going to be a shit ton of rice because I kind of making multiple meal preps at the same time right now, if I'm being totally honest with you, which is why I've been recommending amounts and then doing different amounts. So I'm sorry if you guys watching the video are like confused because you're like, you made way more rice than I did. This is for 2 meal preps. I'm sorry, I should have been more transparent about that. So the meal is going to be quite simple. It's going to be salmon. It's going to be fried rice. It's going to be broccoli that I'm currently microwaving, and it's going to be yummy and delicious. Okay, and here I am. I'm going to be loading up about 12 containers here. Like I said, though, only 4 servings of the salmon, but we're going to go ahead and make sure each of these bowls get a couple of cups of these fried rice, and then we're going to start divvying up. I found out the hard way, 2 bags of frozen broccoli, low-key, is not enough for 12 meal preps, which is really interesting to discover, but we do our best to kind of divvy it up at least a little bit, make sure I get some veggies in there. And then once I shredded up the salmon, I actually decided, you know what, I think that's enough for 5 servings of salmon, so it ended up actually working out really, really nicely. And then I just wanted to drizzle a little bit of extra honey on top. Okay, now with that salmon and that broccoli and fried rice and everything, that was able to make about 5 servings. I'm insanely excited about how these came out. I went ahead and after I finished them, drizzled them off with honey again. So whenever I heat these up, these should be really nice, sweet, and spicy. I'm very, very much looking forward to it. And like I said, 5 servings, that's not bad. I will take it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming by checking it out. I love and appreciate you guys so much for watching. And if you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bow. Bow. Bow.